Hello Randolph Raiders, this is Sarah Grayboys, your Magnet Coordinator, going over the community project for 2018 and 2019. This webinar is intended to go over the details of the project, really understanding the why and the how does this happen at Randolph, so feel free to pause and return to it as you need to, especially as we prepare for our first meetings in January with our community project teams. There are also a variety of hyperlinks in this presentation. The presentation and this video will be emailed out to all of the staff together, so feel free to listen to the presentation and follow along as you wish with the Google Slides so that those links are active for you. Let's go ahead and get started. So why the project? This is part of the Services Action Requirement with the International Baccalaureate Program, specifically the Middle Years Program. And the Community Project is part of the 8th grade requirement for completion in order to be accepted into a magnet program for the IB as a continuation, but it's also part of our expectations that students participate in the service. The third requirement of service activities that 8th graders are supposed to complete will be considered the community project. So as we get further down the line preparing for the capstone, the showcase presentation, we'll be talking a little bit more about how students will receive that credit for their project. The goal of the project is to really have students engage in their community and foster those approaches to learning skills and inquiry and critical thinking and self-management in order to become global citizens. For our staff, it's important for us to cultivate relationships with students, maybe based on even interest. Since students are picking topics that you're interested in as a supervisor and staff member, we can have relationships with our students discussing what's going on in our community outside of academia. Why is the community project important to you? Because we're a whole IB school and everyone here is an IB educator. So making sure that we uphold these expectations and hold every student accountable to completing service in our community, but especially participating in the community project. This also supports with a personal project requirement. So as we send our students off to high school in 10th grade, they'll be asked to do a very similar project on their own that mirrors what this looks like in a team. So we want them to be successful. So the big change for the 2018-2019 school year of the community project is the authentic assessment piece. We will be using the project planner rubric, which has 4 criterion, so students can get 4 different levels of scoring to cultivate a full IB grade. This will be documented on their spring semester IB report card going home in June for all 8th grade students. The criterion of investigating, planning, and taking action will focus on the team, the community project team, and what they accomplished, with the reflecting criterion D, being based off a student self-assessment and what they think they've accomplished, as well as what the teacher has seen throughout reflecting on their participation throughout the year. The community project format and key people. So the project will take place from January through March. It will conclude on March 13th, which is an early release day, with students presenting their showcase presentations. Every 8th grade RMS IB student participates and chooses a topic of interest to create their team. 6th and 7th grade homeroom teachers, we are mindful that during community project meeting times, you do have your homeroom students. So your teams will be automatically smaller. No more than 4 students will be able to access your topic and sign up for it, with 8th grade elective, admin, and support staff having no larger than 7 students, and that's to support with supervision. Every Randolph staff member that participates in the community project will be referred to as a supervisor for here on out. And just to clarify what the expectations are is really that you're the point person for a project. So if I'm contacted as the Magnet Coordinator from downtown regarding a possible project that they've been contacted about, or maybe an organization reaches out and says that there's an opportunity for students, I would be going to you first to share that with your students. You can also provide very specific feedback on the documents as they complete them and act as almost a brain to bounce ideas off of. Students in 8th grade might not understand the requirements to host events outside of the school building, or how to collect donations outside of school, or even how to research a topic. So being able to facilitate that conversation is really the support of the supervisor, as well as completing the community project rubric. So what will students be working on? Every meeting is associated with a community project document to facilitate that discussion. So there are 5 meetings and there are 5 community project documents. Every supervisor will be receiving a Google folder with all their documents, their roster of their team members, who their homeroom teacher is, so that you know who you have to work with, but also so that we don't have lost papers. Everything would be in Google. Students will have their Chromebooks at their meetings in order to facilitate that conversation. As we get through all 5 of the meetings, the final meeting will really be focused on putting all of the documents together that they have been completing throughout January, February, and March into a presentation showcase that they will be giving to 6th and 7th grade students. So how does the supervisor and student choice work? Supervisors or our staff first pick a topic that they're interested in. So we have a topic sign-up sheet. It's hyperlinked to this presentation, and it has every topic that we've offered last year. Any returning staff members, your name is still listed there. If you're not interested in hosting that topic again, feel free to delete and either create a new topic at the bottom with a synopsis, a little summary so students know what it's about, or take on another topic that may have been dropped off, maybe a staff member who has transitioned to another school or another career, or maybe a staff member who doesn't want to do that one this year. Based on that topic spreadsheet, in early December, I will be releasing the summaries of topics to all the 8th grade students to look at, and they'll be asked to pick their top 3 to 5. On December 10th, right at the start of RMS time, a Google sign-up will be released, and students can then pick their first choice of topic. It is already calibrated to have those max of student sign-ups of groups of 4, groups of 7, and it will automatically delete topics as they don't become available. Or as they fill, so students can't overly book themselves, and they'll have that full week before the holiday break to sign up. I will be spending that week ensuring that all students are signed up, and then again that first week we get back from the holiday break ensuring every supervisor has a full roster and every 8th grader has been assigned. So when you're looking at those choice of topics, you might be wondering, well, where do I begin? The MYP Projects Guide gives us 4 different types of service. Direct, indirect, advocacy, and research all are accepted as types of service projects, so feel free to read into those a little bit more in the project handbook. We have provided a little bit more detail and examples, and that's on page 6. So a couple of rules for service again while you're considering your topic. We do have some CMS guidelines and also Randolph-based guidelines in order for us to authentically support over 60 different projects. So number 1, no money collection. All money-based activities had to be submitted to CMS prior to the Labor Day holiday back in August. So no groups are able to collect money. We also would like to include the GoFundMe aspect of having a digital reservoir. Our students are actually too young to operate a GoFundMe, and we don't want anyone questioning where that money was going to and from and how that was organized. So again, no money involved. If you need items to be purchased, always have your students advocate for organizations to donate. No collection on campus. We've had in years past a lot of students trying to collect items on campus, and not all of the projects or very few of the projects received the items because there was confusion on how many different projects. We would like for students to collect, that's fine, but it needs to be happening off campus, maybe in their neighborhood, maybe with their Boy Scout troop they work with, or maybe with their soccer team that might want to participate. If you're interested in a school event or a beautification project, please see Ms. Grayboys, myself, or Mr. Van Bauer first, or shoot us an email and ask if the students can come see us. It's important that we're both up to date on what's available and what's occurring. We've had some really great Randolph-based projects, and that's perfectly fine, but we've got to make sure that we know ahead of time before those are started so we don't have any overlap. For marketing, any events or collections you're conducting off campus, any marketing information you want to share for your community project, your students can send that to me, Ms. Grayboys. They can email it to me. They can come see me and we can talk about it. And I am making a special web page on the RMS Services Action website regarding community projects, but also service events that students can participate in off campus, and I'm working with the PTO to highlight all those service activities in a little blurb on the eBlast, just to consolidate where everything is and we have clear communication. Please keep me in the loop so we can make sure that everyone is supported. When do you meet your teams? During IB blocks. They're 9:20 to 10:10 based on the days of the meetings, and the calendar has been shared with you in the handbook, but also at our meeting on November 7th. Those meetings will always begin with 8th grade having a master roster for their homeroom that they'll pull up on the board from Google Drive, and every student will have an ID sticker printed with the meeting location. That first meeting is when they find out who they're working with. They won't be informed ahead of time. The topic list doesn't have teachers listed. So this is that first meeting might be a little bit of a transition but we'll get in the swing of things. Approximately twice a month you will be meeting. Unfortunately, due to CMS requirements and holidays, we don't have a schedule where it's every Thursday or every Friday, so please be mindful of the master calendar and looking at the documentation timeline on when we will be meeting. If you know you're going to be absent, it is imperative that you let me know. So a 1 week before email will be sent out to all staff. Reminder, we have a community project meeting coming up. Let me know if you're going to be out. It's not that I'm being nosy. I just need to make sure your kids are covered. So please let me know if you're going to be off campus, and let me know how you communicate with them, what their expectations are. So if you're using a Canvas course, a Google Classroom account, a Weebly, how are they supposed to get information from you as an update or what your expectations are? And I'll get that to whoever is covering your group. So just let me know so we know everyone is safe and secure and on task. IBD schedule, this is currently the schedule. Very minor tweaks based on when plannings are this year. But again, everyone will go to their homeroom. We'll have an all call to transition to IB block. So 8th grade will be moving and supervisors moving to their locations. And then we will have that block and then move on to the rest of the day where we have a little bit of time shaved off from every class. 6th and 7th graders have flipped curriculum. There's a choice board for 7th grade and concept lessons for 6th grade. These have been available for multiple years now. They're available digitally, and you'll be sent that 6th and 7th grade teachers. If you choose not to use the flipped curriculum, an alternative assignment must be provided. If that is a study guide for your classroom, or maybe they're working on independent projects, or maybe they need to do reading and review for a test you have coming up the next block, that's fine, but in order to ensure all of our students are on task, an activity must be provided. Please ensure that you have that planned for your students. Next steps, community project rollout to all 8th grade will be November 28th. It will be a video presentation similar to this, just going over the procedures. Homeroom teachers, I ask that you print out a roster, have all your students sign that they have viewed it, and just hand that in to me once you have every student view. If a student is absent, please at some point that week have them view the video, and if you're running out of time and they're not able to do it during Rama's time, please send me their name and information and I'll pull them during lunch or HIC to watch it in my office. We need to make sure everyone understands expectations. Also on the 28th, every community project supervisor has to submit their topic. So if you're fine with what your topic was last year, no worries. You don't even need to access the list unless you want to double check that it looks exactly what you want. But we need to make sure everyone is registered because that's how we start our signups in December. So the 28th is rollout for 8th grade, but also topics due. Following that, the week of December 10th, 8th grade teachers, please provide time during RMS time for your students to register for their topic of choice. That will go until the Friday, the last Friday before the holiday break, and that provides me time to make sure everyone's organized. So again, ensure your students have completed it, constantly remind them once they submit, they will not be able to change their response, but if they have questions, they can come see me. If we can all do that during RMS time, we'll be set to go for January. Ladies and gentlemen, I greatly appreciate all the support and feedback you have given us with the community project. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the rubric works out this year, as that is our big change. But if you ever have any questions regarding the community project, you can always contact me. Keep me in the loop as much as possible so I can support you to support these kids. Looking forward to the community project for 2019. Let's have a great year. Bye.